Welcome back to Change Your Life. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of Kennedy half-dollar coins, a place where history, iconic design, and hidden treasures collide. In this video, we'll explore the top 3 most valuable, expensive, and ultra-rare Kennedy half-dollars from the United States of America that could be worth thousands, even millions of dollars today. We're talking about 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar, 1993 D. Kennedy half-dollar, 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar. These may look like ordinary copper-nickel-clad coins, but some rare examples show unusual red to dark brown color shades, striking errors, and special conditions that make them a prime target for serious coin collectors and investors. Even more shocking? Dirty, worn, or heavily circulated coins, the kind most people ignore or spend without thinking, can still carry massive hidden value. So before you spend that old coin in your pocket, stick around, because you might be holding a fortune in your hands. Coin number 1. Welcome back. Not just to a video, but to a moment that could quietly change everything you think you know about money, history, and the coins hiding in plain sight. Today, we are stepping into the shocking and emotional story of one coin that most Americans have seen, touched, and spent without a second thought. The 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar. A coin that looks ordinary, feels ordinary, but in rare cases, is anything but. This is not just metal. This is history pressed into copper and nickel. This is legacy. This is mystery. And for a very small number of people, this coin has become a symbol of unimaginable value. The Kennedy half-dollar was born from tragedy. After the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, the nation demanded a tribute that would last forever. The result was a half-dollar bearing his face, a design filled with emotion, respect, and national pride. People didn't just collect it. They protected it. They saved it. They believed it mattered. By 1971, something changed. Silver was gone. The coin was now copper-nickel clad. Many people stopped caring. They spent it. They dropped it into drawers. They let it get scratched, stained, dirty, forgotten. And that's exactly where the story becomes dangerous. Because among millions of normal 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollars struck at the Denver Mint, a tiny number were different. Not by design. Not by intention. But by accident, environment, and time. Some developed a rare red to deep dark brown color tone that looks almost unnatural. Not paint. Not damage. A slow chemical transformation that collectors obsess over. A shade that signals something unusual happened during striking, storage, or composition interaction. To an untrained eye, it looks dirty. Old. Worthless. To the right collector, it looks like opportunity. This is where most people make the biggest mistake of their lives. They assume value only comes from shine. They believe a dirty coin is a dead coin. They spend it. They trade it. They lose it forever. But coin history doesn't work like that. Some of the most aggressively chased Kennedy half-dollars today are not perfect. They are mysterious. They are oddly toned. They are controversial. They spark debate, emotion, and competition. And competition is where value explodes. In the collector world, rarity is not always about how many were made. It's about how many survived in a specific, unusual state. A red-brown tone 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar with strong details, unusual surface texture, and natural aging can become a centerpiece of a serious collection. And when two wealthy collectors want the same coin, logic disappears. Price becomes a weapon. Ego takes control. History becomes personal. This is how ordinary coins cross into extraordinary territory. Stories circulate quietly. Private sales. Closed-door deals. Coins changing hands without headlines. without public records. Without anyone outside the inner circle ever knowing the true numbers. And that silence feeds the legend. People laugh when they hear claims of massive values. Until they learn how the rare coin market really works. Until they realize value is not decided by face value, but by desire. A single coin does not need to make sense to everyone. It only needs to be irresistible to one person with money. Look closely at the 1971 D. Kennedy $50 again. The strong portrait. The bold lettering. The way certain examples carry a darker, almost blood red or chocolate brown hue across the surface. The way the light hits it differently than normal clad coins. That difference is everything. Collectors don't just buy coins. They buy stories. They buy moments. They buy the feeling of owning something others overlooked. And the most powerful stories are the ones hidden in plain sight. This is why some investors hunt circulated coins instead of perfect ones. They know history leaves fingerprints. They know perfection is common, but character is rare. A dirty coin that survived decades of circulation carries a journey. A journey no mint can recreate. And when that journey aligns with rarity, controversy, and visual impact, the price becomes secondary. Could every 1971 D. Kennedy $50 be worth a fortune? No. And that's what makes the real ones terrifyingly valuable. Because most people will never look twice. Most people will never slow down. Most people will never question what they're holding. But a few will. And those few understand something most never will. That wealth doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers from the bottom of a drawer. So if you ever come across a 1971 D. Kennedy $50 that looks strange, too dark, too red, too different, don't rush. Don't clean it. Don't spend it. Because history has shown again and again that the coins people ignore today become the legends people chase tomorrow. This isn't just a coin story. It's a warning. And an invitation. Look closer. Slow down. Because the next life-changing discovery is almost never shiny. It's quiet. It's old. And it's already in someone's pocket. Welcome back. Take a breath. Because what you're about to hear is not another coin story. It's a quiet warning hiding inside American pocket change. Today, we are talking about the 1993 D. Kennedy $50. A coin most people have touched. A coin most people ignored. A coin most people already spent. And that's what makes it dangerous. The year 1993 didn't feel special to anyone at the time. No silver rush. No public excitement. Just another copper-nickel-clad $50 rolling out of the Denver Mint, stacked by the millions, and pushed straight into circulation. People didn't save it. They didn't protect it. They didn't respect it. They used it. And sometimes, neglect is exactly how legends are born. The Kennedy $50 itself carries emotional weight in American history. It's not just currency. It's a symbol of a moment when the country stopped, mourned, and promised never to forget. That promise lives on in the design, the face, the sharp gaze frozen in metal. But by 1993, that emotion had faded for most people. Coins were just coins again. And that's where the story takes a turn most people never see coming. Among ordinary 1993 D. Kennedy $50, a small number began to change over time. Not instantly. Not dramatically. Slowly. Quietly. A shift in surface tone. A deepening of color. From normal silver gray. To reddish hues. To dark brown shades that look almost unnatural. To the average person, it looks like damage. Like dirt. Like a coin that should be thrown away. To a serious collector, it looks like a fingerprint left by time itself. This kind of color isn't something you can force. It's not paint. It's not cleaning. It's not abuse. It's chemistry, environment, chance. And chance is the most expensive ingredient in the coin world. The 1993 D coin sits in a strange place in history. Not old enough to be respected. Not new enough to be remembered. Trapped in the middle. That's why so many were lost. Dropped into vending machines. Left in car cup holders. Buried in junk drawers. Scratched, stained, forgotten. And yet, some survived with personality. Collectors don't chase perfection the way people think. They chase difference. They chase coins that spark arguments. Coins that don't look like they should exist. Coins that make experts lean closer and lower their voice. A naturally toned red to brown 1993 D Kennedy half-dollar does exactly that. It forces questions. Was it stored differently? Was the metal exposed to something unusual? Why did this one change while others didn't? And every unanswered question adds weight. Value in the collector market doesn't grow from logic. It grows from obsession. When a coin becomes hard to explain, it becomes easy to desire. Now imagine this. Two collectors. Both wealthy. Both experienced. Both convinced they've found something special. The coin is dirty. Circulated. Not shiny. Not perfect. But it's rare in a way that can't be reproduced. That's when prices stop following guides. That's when numbers stop making sense. That's when private offers happen. No headlines. No public auction. Just quiet deals and serious money. This is how certain coins disappear into collections forever. And this is why the idea of value feels unbelievable to outsiders. People say, it's just a clad coin. They say, it's not silver. They say, it can't be worth much. Until it is. Because the market doesn't reward metal. It rewards story. And the story of a neglected 1993 D Kennedy half-dollar surviving decades of circulation, developing rare natural toning, and landing in the right hands is powerful. Powerful enough to change lives. Not because every coin is valuable. But because one is enough. That's the part most people don't understand. You don't need millions of rare coins. You need one moment of luck mixed with awareness. And awareness is what separates spenders from holders. If you ever find a 1993 D Kennedy half-dollar that looks wrong. Too dark. Too warm in color. Too different from the rest. Stop. Don't clean it. Don't polish it. Don't spend it. Because cleaning erases history. And history is what collectors pay for. A dirty coin with a story will always beat a shiny coin without one. This is why fortunes are missed quietly every day. Not stolen. Not lost. Just overlooked. And that's the most dangerous way to lose wealth. So the next time someone tells you a modern coin can't matter, remember this. Value doesn't announce itself. It hides. It waits. It blends in. Until the right eyes see it. And by then, it's already too late for everyone else. Welcome back. Slow down for a moment. Because the coin we're talking about today doesn't announce itself. It doesn't shine. It doesn't beg for attention. It waits. This is the story of the 1972 D Kennedy half-dollar. A coin that passed through millions of American hands. A coin that lived in pockets, cash registers, and glove compartments. A coin that most people never questioned. And that's why it matters. By 1972, the Kennedy half-dollar had already become background noise. The emotional shock of the 1960s was fading. Silver was gone. What remained was copper and nickel layered together, practical, durable, forgettable. People spent it without thinking. They dropped it into change trays. They let it age without care. Time did the rest. Some 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollars didn't stay the same. They reacted. They absorbed their environment. They changed in ways no mint planned. Slowly, quietly, their surfaces darkened. A warm red tone appeared. Then deeper shades. Brown. Sometimes almost black. To most people, it looks like damage. Like neglect. Like a coin that's lived too hard. To collectors who understand time, it looks like a fingerprint of history. Natural toning is unpredictable. You cannot order it. You cannot fake it perfectly. You cannot repeat it on demand. And that unpredictability creates desire. The 1972 D sits in a dangerous middle ground of American coin history. Too modern to be respected. Too old to be remembered. A year no one talks about. That silence is powerful. Coins from overlooked years often carry the strongest surprises. Because no one protected them. No one sealed them away. They lived real lives. They were handled. Scratched. Exposed to air, heat, moisture, and time. And sometimes, that exposure creates something rare. Collectors don't just look for condition. They look for personality. A naturally toned 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar tells a story with its surface alone. It doesn't need words. It asks questions. Why did this one change? Why this color? Why this pattern? And every unanswered question adds weight. In the collector world, mystery is currency. When a coin refuses to explain itself, it becomes valuable. Now imagine a coin that's dirty. Circulated. Uncleaned. Yet visually striking in a way no factory finish can match. That coin doesn't appeal to everyone. And that's exactly the point. True value doesn't come from mass approval. It comes from obsession. When the right collector sees the right coin, price becomes emotional. Competitive. Personal. This is how ordinary coins cross into extraordinary territory. Not in public. Not in headlines. But quietly. Private sales. Silent negotiations. Collections that never resurface. This is why stories circulate of coins worth unbelievable amounts. Because the most valuable examples are rarely visible. They disappear. The biggest mistake people make is assuming a dirty coin is a worthless coin. In reality, cleaning can destroy more value than circulation ever could. A polished coin loses its past. A dirty coin keeps it. That past is what collectors pay for. The 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar in rare red to dark brown natural toning becomes more than metal. It becomes evidence. Evidence that time touched it differently. And time is the one thing money cannot buy more of. Could every 1972 D be worth a fortune? No. And that's what makes the rare ones powerful. Because most people will never look twice. Most people will spend it without hesitation. Most people will clean it to make it better. And in doing so, they erase what made it special. This is how fortunes slip away unnoticed. Not stolen. Not lost. Just misunderstood. So if you ever find a 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar that feels different, looks darker, carries warmth instead of shine, pause. Don't rush. Don't clean. Don't dismiss. Because history doesn't always sparkle. Sometimes it hides behind age, wear, and silence. And the coins that change lives are almost never the ones shouting for attention. They're the ones waiting for someone patient enough to listen.